So thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. So, Kell Brook knocks out Mark Deluca in the 7th round. Quite a one-sided round after the 2nd round. Okay, so what I mean by that is that the first 2 rounds of this fight were very cagey. I was very interested to see how Kell Brook would look, being out of the ring as long as he has. Hearing some of the stories about Kell Brook, which I'm not going to go into. A lot of things, a lot of questions need to be asked of Kell Brook. And I wanted to see him for the first 2 rounds. To me, he looked cagey. He did, I think, remember when he fought Michael Zarafa, he started very quick. And he tended to, he got worse as the rounds went on against Zarafa. Zarafa's shown himself to be a decent fighter, to be fair. So, against Deluca, he started slow. Coming into the 3rd round, that's when Kell Brook started to find his range, started to get a bit more relaxed, a bit more composed. I started hurting Mark Deluca, bashed his nose up and then dropped him in the 3rd round. And the funny thing is, one thing I know about Kell Brook, I don't think his reflexes are necessarily as quick as they once were. Now, you would expect that he is getting older. He's pushing 34. He's probably seen better days. But it just looked like shots that Kell Brook was getting hit with from Mark Deluca, right hand specifically. I don't know. I just didn't think he'd be getting hit with them shots if this was the Kell Brook of 3 or 4 years ago. Because as soon as he knocked Mark Deluca down, within the first second of Deluca getting up and the fight resuming, he was landing right hands on Kell Brook. So, and it was consistent. Even when Kell Brook was in control, and he was in control pretty much the whole fight, there were silly shots he was getting hit with. Silly right hands here and there that he really shouldn't have been getting hit with. Kell Brook, he does stand very upright, which, it's not a trait of Ingle fighters necessarily. Most of them don't tend to be as square on and upright as Kell Brook is. Still, it just made me wonder, are the reflexes, are they starting to slide a bit? Because he wasn't getting hit a worrying amount of times, but when you see shots that someone you don't think should be getting hit with. Now, Kell Brook went on to, as I said, beat Mark Deluca up. Mark Deluca looked way bigger than Kell Brook. That's the one thing I noticed. And he was game. He was trying to get Kell Brook, he was trying to rough Kell Brook up as much as he could, because he definitely looked the bigger guy. He looked like a middleweight in there. He looked like a big, strong middleweight against Kell Brook, who really is a super welterweight. And, as I said, Brook went about the job, did his thing, would have spurts near the end of rounds. So you notice in the last 10 to 15 seconds, that's really when Kell Brook would switch it on, would start letting a few shots go and try and, get Mark Deluca out of there. He couldn't do it. Obviously, going into the 7th round, I thought it was a jab, realistically, that knocked him down. No, it wasn't. It was a counter right hand. Kell Brook landed. I think it was actually a straight. And down went Mark Deluca, landed in a heap. And, he tried to get back up. And he kind of protested a little bit when the referee waved it off, but the legs were gone. As soon as he got back to his feet, he was kind of protesting, but he could barely stand. So, correct decision from the referee, and the writing was on the wall. Mark Deluca, he was game. He'd only had 1 loss prior to that, which he avenged. But he's very basic. There's nothing that jumps out at you with Mark Deluca other than his physicality. So that was really it. So, with Kell Brook, questions are, where does he go now? He said this is probably going to be his last fight in Sheffield. We've had Liam Smith here, which is a logical fight. They're both under the Matchroom banner. Liam Smith is doing sweet fuck all right now. He's been fighting on some of these DAZN shows against, nobodies. So, I definitely see how they could make that fight. It'd be an interesting fight. So, Liam Smith versus Kell Brook. Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably try and do it on neutral grounds. Probably do it in London somewhere. Amir Khan, I think that fight's dead in the water. And I don't think anyone cares anymore about Brook and Khan at this stage. Because a few years ago, as I said, 2016, would have loved to have seen it. Whereas now, if that fight was announced, it'd just be like, meh. Just be meh. Kell Brook and Amir Khan, meh. I think that fight's dead in the water. So, Kell Brook saying he wants a world title. If I look at 154 pounds, names that come to mind, I can't remember the guy's name, but he beat Julian Williams. I can't pronounce it. I know the guy, but I can't pronounce his name. So he's an option, but I think he's rematching Williams. We obviously have the WBO champion, I think it's Patrick something, I forget the guy's name. Erislandy Lara knocking around, Charlo. All these guys, decent names. Be interesting to see if Kell Brook gets a fight with anything, but I think Liam Smith is most likely to be next, in my opinion. But like I said, it was nice to see Kell Brook back in the ring. 14 months out of the ring, long inactivity, back with Dominic Ingle, in the Ingle gym. So, good performance. Let me know what you think down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. And as always, I will talk to you after.